Chapter 10, optimization. Yes, this is the last chapter, okay, in this class, and after this we will do the project, okay? You will do the group project. And anyway, let's look at this issue. In this exercise, you will create a simple website for optimization. Sounds good, right? Your website will consist of one web page, home.aspx. The complete page must look like the image below. So here is a image, all right? So, right, very simple one. We have ISE, CISE, and MA departments, right? And then let's say we want to make a team consisting the three different majors. It's consisting of different students with three different majors, right? Consisting of multiple students, right? I'm sorry, yes. And then if you click the optimize button, and then definitely you will assign the optimum number of students to each team, right? Anyway, you will interface with the university.mdb database. Yes, we are still using the Access database. And as you can see from figure 1, you can choose teams consisting of students from different majors. For example, if you want to create two teams with different configuration, team 1 with two CISE, one ISE, one MAE student, and team 2 with one CISE, two ISE, and two MAE students, right? The program will find the optimum number of teams for your class. Yes, it will find optimum number of teams, right? Yes. Yeah, my previous explanation was incorrect, right? So if you just select the number of team members, number of actually the student in each team, and then it will optimization actually module will find the number of team, appropriate number of team with different configuration. Got it? Now, figure 2, if you look at the figure 2, for example, we have two teams consisting of different number of students. So we have different configuration here. Team 1 having two CISC students, and the ISC has one, MAE has one. So this is for team 1. So type 1, okay? Team type 1 and team type 2, right? That's the easy one, right? So, and team type 2, so second type has one CISE, two SISE, and two MAE, right? You can add more teams, team 3, team 4, and so on, okay? And let's say we have these kind of two types of teams, right? And then if you click the optimize button, and it will give you the optimum number of teams in your class, okay? Got it? Right, here. So this is a result of optimization. And here is workflow. So create a new ASP.NET Web Form site, and I think you if you just download the files from the eClass, and then you don't have to really create the web form site, right? You can just open the project and complete the code, right? And verify the location of the folder that or style file and folder. So we still have a app code, app data, and web config, etc. Right? Are there? Download and add a component database. So this database into where? Into application underscore data folder, right? And add a connection string to the web config. You know how to add it, right? And so that VB.NET can run the SQL, right, to get the data from the database, right? So you need to create the connection. In other words, please update the web config first, right? And then add reference to the Microsoft Server Foundation DLL for optimization capability, right? So you can find this file from the class as well, right? And then add one. Add it as a library. So you technically, by using VB.NET, you can use a solver, right? You remember the solver in Excel? Hopefully you remember it. Okay, so here, once you have attached it, and then now you can find this DLL file from under the bin folder. Got it? Okay, and then data processing. So this is the data, yes. So second step, data processing. You have to create the app code folder and then add your new classes like data loader, optimization result, and team VB and team optimizer VB into the code, right? Application code. So we have data loader and optimization result, team and team optimizer. Got it? And complete all class files, and definitely you can find the source codes after this page. And also web form, we have one web form called home.aspx. Create the web form, name the home, and add the component shown in figure 1 and 2. So like this, right? Got it? All right, so let's look at this source code, data loader.bv. So import Visual Basic and data OLEDB, right? So anyway, so here we have a data loader class, and you are familiar with it. Here we have two private lists. One is my student count list, another one is department list. All right, and so it has an integer list of the integer, and this is the list of string. And we have load page, so we sub procedure, and you call this one, and then definitely we will load the student list as well as load student department list, and then put the result into these two private lists, right? I just mentioned about them, right? And let's look at these two functions here. The function, private function, row student list, and then it will return the list of the integer, right? So that this result can be stored in this student counter list, right? All right. So declare my connection string, right? Remember this, right? So in this type, we will just declare this string. And then my connection as a OLEDB connection. So you just put the string here, right? And then create the connection. And then here, technically, yeah, you store the connection information into the here. And then SQL command, store the SQL command and here, right? And then what? So you can open the connection, execute the SQL command, right? Once you execute the SQL command, and this one will be stored in this variable, basically object, and then student count will get the list of the integer, and then you can do the while loop, right? Do while loop, right? So it will execute until, right, until the end of the line of the database, right? My data or the leader that read, right? So just keep reading until the end of the line, end of the row of the access file. So student count that add, right? You can add this item to the student count. Anyway, after that, you can return this student count. Got it? Similarly, we have another function called the load department list, right? And in this case, we will return the list of the string. So you can check this, right? Department list here. So this is a temporary space, right? So department list as a new list of strings because you need to return the list of strings. So you just declare the same type here, right? And this one will have a result of the result, right? So you can add this item to this list, right? And then we still have the do while loop and my data leader that read. So you can run this code and then find the actually database, read the database line by line, right? And then it will execute until the end of the row, right? Fine. So, and anyway, add item to the list, right? Department list. So department, you can have a department list at the anyway. And if you look at the SQL, and here we have the department ID, and then from the table, group by ID, class, having class, senior, right? So senior project team. Got it? All right. And also we have two properties to access the existing private list, right? So you can have a get function action, right? And then return the list and existing list, right? You remember the property, right? Which is slightly different from the variable, right? So we use a property command keyword to access what? Private object, because in this case, because this is private, which means other class cannot see these two names, right? For the security issue, we are using the private, right? So you will limit the access. However, by using the public, and then although we cannot see we cannot see the name of this, but people can at least see the get or people, right? Because this is common keyword, so to access the private object here, so you can hide actual name of the list, which is student account list, right? Or the department list, right? Anyway, so last one is a public function, and then those of students in department. So basically this one has an argument for, and then if you run this function, it will run the for loop from the 0 to the end of the line, basically, right? Count minus 1. So because start from 0, so you need to subtract 1, right, from the total number of the items in this list, right? All right. So if department list item equal to the department ID, then return the student count list item. You got it? So if there is no such a department, and then it will return 0. Easy? Yes, very easy. All right. So anyway, we have a new VB code, right, to do the optimization, right? So that's why we import the solver foundation services here, and we have a my team counter list as well as my team list, and then here is a list type, right? List of decision and list of team, right? So I think we have a team class as well as yes, we have team class as well as, where are you? We have one more class. Team optimizer, right? So anyway, so let me go back to the code here, right? So sub and generator with these arguments, right? So we have two arguments for this object, team requirement as well as team count. And team count will be given, team count will be stored in this my team count list, and given team requirement will be stored in this my team list, right? And then here is a we have function team count, right? And then this return the integer value, and under the given team number it will return the double, basically, right? But you know, this return type is integer, so it automatically double type will be automatically converted to the integer. And student from the department with this argument also return the integer. So total student from this department as an integer equal to 0 initially, and then we run the for loop, right? And then until the end of the the team list, right? That's why count minus 1, right? Start from 0 and count minus 1, right? And total student from this department plus equal to, so you are accumulating this value basically, and then my item list item, so I right, from 0 to count minus 1, right? And then student from the department times 1, team count I, right? It will return the total student from this department. Okay, let's look at the team VB. So we have team VB, team object, and team class. Basically, it will generate the object, right? Or multiple instances of the team. And IS student is integer, and CISE also integer, and MA student also integer, right? Number of students basically for these three majors. And then requirement, and I guess these value. So these values is given by drop down menu shown in this home page. Where are you? Right. So 1, 2, 3, right? Right. So where are you? Okay. And then next student from, and this is function. Actually, it will return the integer value. So if department ID is ISE and then return the IS student, if CISE and return the CIS student, and then return the MAE student, right? So basically, number of students, right, in each major, right? So it's a very simple one, simple class. And what about team optimizer? So we have team optimizer here, and then my student count, it includes 3, 5 actually private, right? Object, and then here my student count, my department ID, my team list, and my model, and then decision list, right? And here is a generator of this class, and we have a team list, and it will be given, and so this given team list will be stored in the my team list, right, by calling this new. And what about the sub procedure here? So load student data will do what? Will the will update this my student count as well as my department ID. So, and here are the code, right? Uh, Also, not last one, and then solve. So solve. This is the most important one to use a solver library, and then definitely you can also find the manual in Google, right? So solve. When you run the solve function, a sub procedure, you will actually run the certain text, okay? And then initially it create the model, and then this is add the decision variables, and then constraint, right? And then objective, right? So and then last one is a solve, run the solve function. Add a decision variable, so dim I as an integer from here to the end of the row of this team list, right? And then my team count as a new decision, and here is a domain, so domain dot integer non-negative. This is actually the rule, and team and I is a given as well, so that this shape, okay, this my team count will be actually will be called from the here, right? When you add the decision variable, okay. So my model dot add decision, and here. Also, you can update the my decision list as well. And add the constraint is quite similar. In this time, actually, the ones you define the constraint, and then you can add this constraint to the, where are you? To the, let me just skip the several lines, and then so that you can add the constraint basically by to the my model here. So this is an important one, right? So as you can see, less than equal to what? Less than equal to the total student in this department, right? Definitely. You cannot assign, so if I go back to the result of optimization here, and then definitely you cannot, you know the total number of students at each department, right? 46, 35, and then 6, right? Got it? So if you have two team of one and two team of two, and then let's calculate it. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 1 is 2, right? So 6, we are using the 6 CISE student, or assign the 6 CIS student. And then what about ISE? ISE is also 6, right? 2, 4, right? So MA is 2, 4, right? So you are just you have a 6 out of 46, right? Right. I'm sorry. Yes. Where are we? Yeah. So constraint. Here you can add a constraint, and then similarly you can also add a goal. So in order to do that, you have to specify the goal, and then definitely you need to tell whether you are going to maximize it. So like a goal type of goal, maximize or minimize. Okay, and then what goal? My goal. So here's a my goal, right? My goal is updated using this for each in next statement here. And then we have a result here, result function. So it will return the optimization result. Okay, and since we are using the just solver library, and that's why you have to follow this kind of like a format. Okay, if you want to know more about this library and what to do, you need to Google it, right? So let me just if you Google it, I'm sorry, yeah, not this one, Microsoft Services Library. So here, server foundation version, right? Also the great method, you have like a document, right? Document about this server. Oh, sorry, not this page, the Google Microsoft Docs. Right, so you can check actually you can check the model, the greater method, right? And if you want to know more about it, and then there was a name of the DLL file, right? So what was it? So Microsoft Foundation DLL, right? So here, constructor and property, and you can check the method, right, of this library, event, and so on. So please study it if you want to uh, develop the more complex optimization like function. And what else? I just explained the team optimizer VB, right? So actually that's pretty much about it. So you need to complete this code, right? Complete the project actually with these code. If you unzip the optimization start, and then you can just open the project by clicking this optimization.sln, right? So project file, and if you click it, and then you can see that this, oh, it takes time to open it. So this project we called SQL Server 2012 Express Local DB, and I need to update it, right? So Microsoft Download Center, we have to actually install this Express Local DB. So let's check the connection with the database. So here, reverse the MDB, and you can double click it, right? It seems like we can open it. So database is connected, right? In your Visual, in mine actually, um, Visual Studio. So let me close it and close this server Explorer. All right. So here we have multiple code and data loader. We have empty data loader, and also optimization result is empty, so you need to complete the code, and team is here and team optimizer here, right? So you need to complete it. Also web config, if you look at it, we have connection string basically, so you don't have to worry about it in this time. I already put the connection string here, right? That's the most important part. Also, you have to add a reference, right? So server basically. So if you go to the, in my case actually, I can just add this server foundation.dll, right, from this here, and because I recently use it. But if you go back to your walkthrough here, and then you have to remember the path of the DLL file, right? I already give you this instruction, right? And then you need to put it to your bin folder, right? So in my case, let me just click it, and then OK. Otherwise, you need to find it. So you need to click the browse, right? And then find one. And then, yes, I already have one. So I can just click it, close it. Let me check it. So Microsoft Server Foundation. So I have this one. So I don't need to worry about it. So, and then now we can complete this. Now we are ready to complete these files, right? All right, so if you run this one, home, SPX, you can see this view, and let me choose one ISE, one MAE here. Let me get the button, and then next type is 2, 2, 1. And what about 1, 1, 3? What about 3, 1, 2? We have 4 types. If you click the optimize, and then you will give it a 0, 0, 0, 0. So let me reset it. Okay, so here, this one, and 1, 1, 2. Let me reset it. So 1, 1, 2 at team, and 2, 1, 1 at team. So optimize, right? So we have 2 teams, 2, right? Team of 1 to team 2, type 2. So now you know how many students actually you assign to the team. Got it. Okay, and please complete the source code and then submit this one to the class. Thank you.